This is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Well, y'all, it has come as a disappointment to a lot of people that we, Black Americans, are in the Constitution. There are constitutional amendments that are just for us, that were passed specifically for our ancestors. And people didn't know that because they don't take the time to learn American history. They just come over here because they want to make money or they want to be Americans, I guess. And everybody thinks that Black Americans are the bottom caste because we say that. A lot of Black Americans say that we're the bottom caste. Our family members were enslaved. People even call us slaves now when they want to insult us. But what they don't know is that we have agency. And when I say agency, we have skin in the game. We're in the law books, we're in the Constitution, and they're not. And that is a source of anger and anxiety and surprise to many people because they think, well, white Americans don't like Black Americans, and they feel like we are the cushion. So if something bad is going to happen in this country, it's going to happen to us first. So that's what they were counting on with deportation. They thought we were going to get deported first because they don't know American history, they don't take the time to learn, and they won't listen. The reality is, though, I think a lot of Black Americans didn't know that. We are in the Constitution. The 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments are about us. The 14th Amendment, the amendment that everybody's riding on now that's in here illegally, that amendment was passed for our ancestors. And then about 35 or 40 years later, a Chinese took advantage of it, and the Supreme Court ruled that because he was born in the United States, he was a citizen. That was a terrible ruling on the part of the Supreme Court, and they need to right that wrong because it's giving people who come in here illegally and who are very disrespectful to American citizens, not just Black Americans, but anybody, it's giving them citizenship and they don't deserve it, in my opinion. I don't think they deserve it. But they didn't know we were in the Constitution, y'all. They thought they had the same status in this country that we have until Donald Trump told them, Donald Trump of all people, told them that the 14th Amendment was for the enslaved. And that has been a shocker. And that is the reason why we're getting all of this anti Black hatred from these other groups. Every time something comes up, they try to drag us into it to show their anti Blackness because they resent the fact that we have a status here that they don't have. Because they're runners. Their status should be in their homeland that they fled from. But they didn't want to stay in their homeland and have to fight through and struggle for what they want in their country to make it better, to make it a better place to live. They want to run where somebody else has already suffered and sacrificed to make a country at least livable. But they resent the fact that we have a status that they don't have. So every chance they get now, they're taking pot shots at us. They want to believe that they have the same status in this country and the same rights in this country as we do. But they don't. They don't. They didn't put in the work that it took to build this empire. They didn't suffer anything to build this empire. It is not fair for them to have the same status that we have, especially when they come up in here disrespecting the laws of the United States and breaking the laws once they get here. They shouldn't have the same status as people whose ancestors suffered and died to build this empire. And I don't know what's motivating him, but Donald Trump is fighting birthright citizenship and is bringing out enemies that we didn't know we had. And this YouTuber seems to be frustrated with the whole process. So listen to her.
Ethnic Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, Sulan, are at the center of the Supreme Court justice decision today. And what's pissing me off is every time I turn on a news station, everybody's trying to diminish our role in this entire thing. Because one thing is because a lot of people are immigrants, and a lot of immigrants are so jealous of the fact that we are Americans. And even just like Sotomayor. So I was watching the attorney talk to Sotomayor and say, listen, we are basing this on the precedence of the fact that this law of birthright citizenship was based on the descendants, the children of slaves. And immediately she like cut it off, switched it, and was like, well, also the gypsies. Who's talking about gypsies? Why are we talking about gypsies in America? Like, why did you deflect to gypsies? Why didn't you address the fact that, or have a counter to his point about ethnic Black Americans? And I've noticed that immigrants are so very, 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 not all, but most are very jealous of our position in this country, because they hate the fact that people of our color and our complexion can have this kind of cemented place in a country that they want to be a part of so bad, and they're just not on some levels. And so what we have is we have white Americans who are just given, carte blanche, because white Americans, this place was ruled and colonized for them specifically, right? And then you have us who were begrudgingly given citizenship because they know that they made us build this whole entire thing. We've been here for 4 or 5 centuries. We fought in every war. We're so entrenched in this country that they had to begrudgingly, and we fought for, give us this citizenship. So on one side you have white Americans who are just kind of given carte blanche citizenship. It's just theirs, okay? And then you have us who have with blood, sweat, and tears and labor are embedded in this country with citizenship. And it's in our Constitution. The Constitution was changed to incorporate us into the fabric of America because we are America, our ethnogenesis in America. And they're so salty. The immigrants so many immigrants are so salty about it. And even, so you hear all the news networks when they're covering this situation, they're all trying to like not talk about the core argument, which is the fact that it's about ethnic Black Americans, children of slaves, giving citizenship not to immigrants. It was never designed for immigrants. And this goes back to the statement where we have told immigrants time and time again, if it weren't for us, you wouldn't be here. And they want to have all these tropes and narratives and try to twist American history and say, oh, we would have been here, or these non-melanated people gave us citizenship, they gave us immigration. No, they didn't. They did not. They didn't. It was based on your immigration status. If you are a non-white male in America, the precedents came from us, ethnic Black Americans, hands down. That is why you are here, because they used everything that we fought for, and you tethered yourself and piggybacked and jumped on our backs to get it. And we fought for you, and we try to help you until we realize how anti-Black a lot of you guys are. And so now we're quiet. If this was 10 years ago, we would be up in arms trying to help you, trying to fight for you, and now we're quiet. Now, I don't know what they're going to rule. It seems like, it's going to be a hard road to get this passed in the Supreme Court, but Trump has pulled rabbits out of his hat before. And this is what I want us to understand. You have to, ethnic Black Americans, you have to have pride in your culture and community, because you have to understand that everything we have and everything that these people have in this country is off of us. This includes the non-melanated, because we built this country, okay? It includes every other group that comes to this country because we set the precedents for them to come to this country. And you need to stand up and start gatekeeping. It's funny to see the gingers and everybody like saying, oh, we're Black now because we're gingers. It's cute, but it's not. But we need to gatekeep, okay? We need to stop letting everybody come in, because look at the silence of supposedly your allies, these people of color and all this stuff, where they don't want to give you, your ancestors, any credit for them being in this country. They don't even want to talk about it. They don't even want to give us the credit when it is the center, it is the foundation of the entire argument. And they don't even want to mention it or talk about it. Sotomayor started talking about gypsies. So listen up.
The Constitution. Respectfully, I think what we have are lower courts making snap judgments on the merits that ignore the fundamental principle of the 14th Amendment, that it was about giving citizenship to the children of slaves, not to the children of illegal immigrants who really were not even a very discreet class at that time. And that's the sort of argument that deserves percolation.
Congress who argued against the 13th Amendment just because of that. Some people who argued against passing the amendment just because of that, because it would give citizenship to gypsies.
I think the relevant history of the 14th Amendment is the statements of Senator Trumbull, who emphasized that domicile was the key criterion. He said that in a letter to Andrew Jackson, and we've cited in our Ninth Circuit briefing a host.
So, as I said before, we have enemies we didn't know we had. They're jealous of our status, but they can't change it. So the two words that are buzzing around now in Black America: delineation, gatekeeping. These are the things that we have to focus on if we want to retain what we have and not let people continue to undermine us. So we're in the Constitution, and that's what we need to keep our focus on, where we are, and let these other people fight their own battles. Because when they come for us, nobody will have our backs but us. Okay, y'all, thank you for listening. Let me know what you think about this and have a good day.